Sometimes paranormal activities don't take place in the house or at a cemetery. They take place in a van.
なにどうなってんの？待って。やばすぎだろこれ。気持ち悪い。どういうこと？いや、やばすぎだろマジでこれ。誰もいないよなマジで。よいしょ。この布団の中に隠れてんだろ。おい、おら。さすがにいねえか。
Some claim that he was experiencing a supposedly haunted area and headed back into his van after an unfruitful day of ghost hunting. Could this have been the paranormal entity's way of getting back at him for meddling in their ghostly affairs? Or was it just a classic case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time? How do you explain what you've just witnessed? Are they pulling the wool over our eyes? Maybe. But what if there's something far more sinister at play here? We'll leave this one for you to decide.
Riding motorbikes comes with a bucket load of risks to consider. While worrying about all of those, this guy was hit with something he never could have anticipated, quite literally. There is a lot to unpack here, so let's just start with the context. The guy said that the person who walked out in front of him only bolted towards him at the last second, but it does seem like they were walking across the road for quite a while before he caught up. The biker also says that he didn't feel the person's presence at all. This is strange because he clocked that someone or something ran straight into his bike. But what was it? Looking through the comments, some viewers took it upon themselves to enhance the video to see if they could make out a distinguishable face, and nobody was able to. It's human in shape, wearing human clothes and all that jazz, but where the hell is its face? And where did it go right after the biker drove past? It's a little suspicious that he didn't stop to see what happened, but it might have just been adrenaline. Is this a road phantom or a close call?
While taking his daughter to pay respects to a deceased relative, this woman experienced a heart-thumping moment as her little girl started acting strange. Here is what was caught.
What are you waving at her?
Bye. Bye. Yeah. Bye.
After paying their respects to the dead, the woman noticed her daughter waving an imaginary figure goodbye. That is when she pulls out her phone to record. The little girl seems more concerned about this imaginary friend and pays her mum no mind. Could it be the ghost of the person they came to visit, bearing in mind that children see things adults sometimes don't? Or was she just nonchalantly mumbling the words she recently picked up? Whichever it was, it sure had her mother worried. What are your thoughts on this one? Let us know.
Warehouse work can be dangerous at the best of times, with all the heavy loads you have to carry and the machinery you have to watch out for during your shift. But one thing you don't normally expect to encounter is an unseen force dragging you down the aisles with the force of 10 men, which is what happened here. Take a look. Putting everything else aside for a moment, Things could have gone seriously wrong for that poor man if only those boxes full of beer cans had fallen on his head or spine. Sure, you might argue that there could have been someone else hiding on the other side of the shelving unit to push everything off, but how did he get dragged such a long distance at such a speed? It's not like we're watching a Hollywood movie set, it's a warehouse CCTV security system. Plus, we can't see from both angles, and there doesn't seem to be anyone in sight who can pull a string. But even if it was a string, imagine the pain of being dragged with a thin wire against your skin like that.
If you have been wondering about the innermost workings of exorcisms up to this point, look no further, because this priest is about to explain it all to you.
Ecco, vedi? Questo è agganciato qui, no? L'altro si aggancia di là, quindi è aperto dentro, no? Poi io leggo le mani qui, leggo i piedi qui al... Si può vedere questi. E questo diciamo se ecco, può legare il braccio, vedete? Può legare il braccio di qua di là e i piedi lo stesso a questo tappiola qui. Dunque, e qui se c'è questa cinta perché sono terribili. Questa qui per legare alla vita in modo che non si muova. Mettere questo braccio, vedi, sotto, vedi, qui c'è, ecco, si regge in questo modo, si regge, altrimenti non si regge, e rompono tutto. Dunque, tutto questo, adesso vi faccio vedere cosa sono capace di fare questo qui. Questo può essere una ragazza che, guardi, questo è d'acciaio, questo corrisponde a questo qui, no, corrisponde, vediamo qua, ne passo una qui dentro, questo sarebbe questo, vedete come l'ha ridotto, è difficile poi con le mani, non è possibile, ha visto? Oh, l'inferno, vai!
Prende l'acqua, padre, prende l'acqua, prende l'acqua.
Sì, ci ho pensato, ma
L'acqua.
non ci ho pensato. Sta buona? Sta buona, forza? Ci avevo pensato.
Ancora!
Signore Gesù Cristo, Dio ti perdo eterno Padre, Dio ringrazio. Ti prego il tuo nome, è di Cristo, è di Cristo, è di Cristo. Ecco l'acqua del Signore. Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne. Maligno. Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne. Santa Maria, ma libera. Ma Maria, no, maligno, è Cristo più forte. Cacciali via. Di la verità. Di la verità a questa signora. Esiste o non esisti tu? Il demonio esiste o non esiste?
Esiste il demonio!
Come fai a dimostrarlo? Come fai a dimostrare che esiste?
Tutto!
Ma questo...
Io esisto! E chi non ci crede bene!
All the straps and binds are enough to send anyone spiraling, but he explains that during exorcisms, they are targeting the demon, not the person.
E non l'abbiamo pure noi. E sono contento di dare in botta al demonio. Quando mi dice il demonio che chi sei, io domando, Satana. Ah, ora mi sei capitato. Adesso ti ho dato un sacco di botte. Dunque, e quindi è lui che grida. Perché quando grida la persona, ci sono dei gridi qui delle suore che si sentono a volte fino in fondo, fino alla strada si sentono. Dunque per il giardino. ma non è certamente la persona che grida, ma è il demonio che sente queste botte.
Hopefully, that's true, because when he puts those bindings to good use, the results is enough to scare you stiff. The girl in this video is clearly in a bad way, although there are some segments where her screams don't match up with her body language.
È di Cristo, è di Cristo, è di Cristo. Ecco l'acqua del Signore.
See? She let out one hell of a scream, but she didn't seem to move at all, when every other time she had basically been headbanging. The content itself is petrifying, and hopefully what he said about the human body not feeling the blows is true, because she looked like she was in agony. Could this be a mental health disorder in play that has been misdiagnosed, or someone actually possessed?
When this video was taken in Canada, the guy couldn't believe his own eyes, and neither will you, because this is one of the most unexplainable videos of them all.
It's just hovering in place. What is that? Look at the lights all around it.
This might be another re-upload, because there are no comments and 0 likes. The only logical explanation we could think of is the easy one, which is that this video has been edited. But that seems to be too easy, unless this was some kind of light show or hologram, or even a drone. However, that doesn't explain the colourful field expanding around the object. Could this be something to do with the stars, a really good editing job, or something beyond our comprehension?
The video you're about to watch will have you looking to the sky in fear of what might happen, and we're not talking about UFOs or paranormal entities. It will have you gasping in horror and disbelief. Take a look. This family was enjoying a lovely day in the park when, out of nowhere, screams erupted around them. An eagle had dived bombed and what was about to make off with their toddler. Fortunately, they acted just in time to save the child from the clutches of certain doom. Can you imagine if the eagle had taken the child to its nest or accidentally dropped him from a deadly height? Definitely not the kind of park experience anyone wants. You might be wondering, since when did birds steal human babies? Well, unlike the friendly birds in the Storks movie, these big, powerful birds of prey can indeed carry off a small child, or anything else they can manage, and can eat them when push comes to shove. Still skeptical? Check out this chilling scene from another bird attack. On her way back from the ranch, this girl gets mauled down by an eagle and would have been dismembered if not for the man's timely intervention. The girl looks pretty shaken by the experience, and we can only hope the eagle didn't sink its talons into her before help arrived. Certain eagles would eat anything their talons can carry, from rabbits, goats, other birds, and deer to kangaroos. But grabbing little children, that's definitely crossing a line. It's not the Jurassic Age anymore, and birds aren't supposed to eat people. Moving into a new apartment comes with excitement and a refreshing feel, especially when it's in a better part of town. This family recently moved to this house with such feelings but was oblivious to its mysterious past. If only they knew the evil that existed in the place. Here is the paranormal concoction that left them gasping.
Son las... no sé si se alcance a ver, las 3 de la mañana con 1 minuto y mi hermana me acaba de levantar porque dice que se escuchan ruidos en el cuarto.
When you go on a haunted tour or a ghost walk, you're usually expecting a good chunk of storytelling and maybe even some scare actors employed to give you a hair-raising time. But when this family went on a tour of the Myrtles plantation in Louisiana, they got way more than they bargained for. To add a little context, this plantation was built in the 18th century and has since been transformed into a bed and breakfast for tourists to stay in. But throughout history there have reportedly been 10 murders within the house and surrounding grounds and a lot of reported ghost sightings. One of the more common sightings is that of a little girl called Kate who lived on the plantation and tragically died of typhoid at the age of 3. There is a photo of her hung on the walls of the plantation, but that wasn't the last that anyone saw of her, because when this family went on their tour, they took a photo and realised that they were not the only people in it. If you look closely at the left side of the mirror, there is a face that looks suspiciously like Kate's. The family swear up and down that they were the only people in that room at that time and have no idea who the mysterious figure is. But with such a rich history, it would be more surprising if there weren't any paranormal encounters there. But is it true? Have you ever been to Myrtles Plantation? If so, let us know your experience down below.
Imagine being on holiday, chilling in the sun, knowing your home is safe and sound, well locked and monitored by CCTV, when you wake up to a notification from your camera you never wanted to get. This family had a similar experience and is still clueless about what might have happened that day. Take a look. The movements and the lights turning on when the house was supposed to be empty had us playing the video in a loop, searching for answers. Did you also notice the figure walking past the mirror to the left? Perhaps the house wasn't empty after all. Another interesting detail was how the door went from having an oval window to being square-shaped. Not to mention the blue flash just before the lights came on, which is typically used to hide editing mistakes, but it could just be the camera switching from infrared to visible light. As we dug deeper to find more videos, hoping for clarity, we only found ourselves tumbling down a rabbit hole of spookiness. Take a look. In this video, you'll notice that the light is turned off, and the door has gone back to having an oval window. It seems reality changes with the light. If this isn't a classic case of spotting the difference, then we don't know what is. The video further proves that someone or something is in the house while they are away. How do you explain the lights going off if the family was away on holiday? Nor did they have any timer switch. What are they up against here? A sneaky poltergeist happy to have the house to itself? Or a squatter skilled at avoiding CCTV and was living it up while they were away? But let's not rule out the possibility that they might be the ones haunting their own home. There are plenty of fakers out there these days anyway, so never know.
The night sky is full of beauty, but it also seems to be a chock-a-block with stuff that makes you either shiver or scratch your head. Both those things happened to this guy when he saw this shooting through the sky.
¿Qué mierda es eso? ¿Qué es eso?
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's a super UFO. Well, for all we know, it could have just been an asteroid, but one thing is for sure. If you saw that above your head in real time, rest assured you'd feel your heart pump faster than the speed of that thing.
Apparently, humans may not be the most advanced species on planet Earth. The scary video you're about to watch seems to be yet another example caught on camera, where the line between reality and fantasy starts to blur. Take a look. Can't help but feel like the bike in this video should be left alone to carry on its duty of saving the Transformers universe.
Can't transform.
It comes to life out of nowhere, startling everyone around as it turns itself on and whips its handlebars to the side. It's almost as if it ran out of patience. Even the people in the cafe don't seem to understand what is going on, and neither do we. One of the leading arguments against the authenticity of exorcism videos is that all the drama can easily be faked by good acting and clever camera work. But when you look deep into some of these clips, you start to wonder just where that bar beyond realities lies.
The video shows several men restraining a possessed girl. She can be seen violently thrashing her arms and legs. What follows is an intense and highly disturbing ritual, most likely an exorcism.
Dímelo. Porque estás muerta. ¿Y el bebé? El bebé. Estabas embarazada. Estabas embarazada cuando te quitaron los chicos. Él me escuchó, él me escuchó, él me escuchó. ¿Quién te escuchó? Dímelo, ¿quién es? Él me escuchó. ¿Quién te escuchó? Regresa a tu lugar. No puedes. No puedes estar más en esa batería. Grábalo. Graba eso. Dios salve María, llena eres de gracia. Sale solo. 1, 2, 3.
After searching high and low online, there was nothing we could find pertaining to the people in this video. The only context we can gather is from the limited speech in this brief clip, which is that the woman being freed from the demon had her children taken away and was pregnant when that happened. Nothing of much use there, but we know that if this is true, the woman must be going through a lot of mental turmoil, which could explain her erratic behavior and speech patterns. Here, it looks like she's just crying. Is this a demonic entity or a bit of a bad day? She keeps saying something about being heard, but before we can hear any answers to any questions, the video cuts to a different shot out of nowhere. While she looks and sounds as though she's under the influence, this could result from multiple things: fantastic acting, taking too much of what she shouldn't, or even a mental breakdown connected to the loss of her children. This is all speculation, as we have no idea what is truly happening in this video, because there is no background info. Although, as suspicious as we remain, that one shot at the end of the clip where she smiles and hisses through her teeth should be enough to chill you to your bones. Is this possibly fake or something truly demonic? Let us know in the comments.
We know by now how scary it is to see one lone light drifting through the sky, but how does the fear factor stack up when it's doubled? This video was sent in by CJW, and they captured it in Ashton-under-Lyne in the UK. One thing that left us with an unsettling feeling was the fact that this YouTube account was closed down exactly 2 days after he left a comment on one of our videos with the link. Thankfully, we downloaded it in time, but this isn't the only time this phenomenon has been caught on camera, as a Redditor posted a video of something similar happening somewhere else.
There's more back here. Oh no, there's antenna. I was gonna say, holy shit.
You bugging. Why is it, what is that? It's moving. 1, 2, and 3.
What the is that?
They literally moved all the way from over here to start moving over here, and they're moving pretty solidly.
And they're in a trail.
Yeah.
They're like following one behind the other.
Yeah.
Dude, that's weird.
They're not planes. There's not even an airport over here. It's not like
oh my god, there's more, babe. There's more.
More? What do you mean more?
Right there, look another. Oh my god, Austin, look.
Wait, 2 lights just disappeared though. 2 of the lights just disappeared.
But these weren't. They were over there.
Yeah, these weren't over there. These were just right here. But
holy.
Look, that one's over there.
The OP of the Reddit post said that anyone who thought this could be a set of Chinese lanterns was quote-unquote bugging, because the video was recorded near a military base with a strict no-fly zone, and they also mentioned that the lights were moving quicker than a plane would, which is impossible. But looking further down in the comments, people managed to get a hold of the weather report for that specific day. This showed that if there were to be Chinese lanterns, they would be drifting in precisely that direction, and the illusion of speed is due to how low they are to the ground. They are also the same colour as Chinese lanterns, and while they are illegal, who's to say nobody broke the rules? This might explain the Reddit post, but what about the ones caught by CJ in the UK? They aren't the colour of Chinese lanterns, and there also isn't any background on the clip they sent in. So what the hell are those things in the sky? And why was the account so quickly shut down after sharing this strange phenomenon caught on camera? Let us know what you think.
In places where tradition and ancient culture are celebrated, spotting mystical creatures and figures during festivities isn't all that unusual. The video you're about to see has devout worshippers and skeptics in a heated debate over what it might actually be. Here's what was caught. This humanoid figure was formed in the clouds over China, above Mount Zorok. Upon close inspection, the figure resembles a Chinese woman with her hair in a bun, overlooking the city, and some of the worshippers in that area believe it's the divine representation of their god, looking gracefully upon them, while others opine that it's nothing more than an unusually shaped cumulus cloud. But seriously, can we take a minute to talk about the lens on that phone? The man in the video you're about to watch was in the clinic when he felt like he wasn't the only one around, so he bought his phone to record the subtle signs he's been seeing, so no one would think he's losing his mind. Here's the hair-raising sight he caught on camera. Hospitals are paranormal hotspots, and it's no surprise that our guy was quick to whip out his phone to record. How can we explain a cup moving on its own? Strings? Why would he carry strings in his pocket to a hospital bed? But what if it was the ghost of someone who'd passed away in that ward, playing tricks from the great beyond? Or an in-betweener trying to catch his attention? The possibilities are as chilling as they are endless. Be sure to let us know what you think.
When someone shows up at your house unannounced, it tends to throw you off course. But when it's one of your friends or a family member, you can normally let it slide. But what do you do, however, when it's someone or something that you don't know? That's what happened to this woman when she began getting strange notifications on her Ring doorbell when she wasn't at home. Check out the video that she caught first. As weird as this is, it could just be a woman wandering around in the road, but we can't help but notice her dress. It looks quite old-timey Victorian style, which again could just be what this woman decided to wear while aimlessly walking around in the middle of the night.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
That doesn't make it any less terrifying. The strange antics don't stop there though, because it seems as though this supposed spirit wanted to be heard as well as seen. Whatever this thing is, it does not sound friendly. After nobody let the lovely Anna into the house, she went and tried her luck in the shed. Pretty creepy, but did you notice the clear shadow just off screen to the right? Could this be the silhouette of creepy Anna? Why would she be so coincidentally out of the shot though? Bit sus, innit? Could it truly be a roaming spirit? Or is someone trying to give us the runaround?
Sometimes, our actions trigger some sort of supernatural response, especially when it involves a lost loved one. Well, this girl and her mum posted a video of their New Year's Day celebration, but it was what happened afterwards that got everybody talking. Take a look.
It can work, but we just haven't. That has not. I've twisted it. That has not worked. That's my dad's snow globe. Like, we designated that to, like, be my dad.
Apparently, they lost their dad and husband a couple of years back. To their shock, his snow globe springs to life for the first time, as if guided by an unseen hand, even though it's not working anymore.
Hold on.
It's like he was trying to let them know he is still with them.
That's my dad's snow globe. Like, we designated that to, like, be my dad.
They seem very emotional, knowing that his spirit was still around. So, we wouldn't want to take that away from them and even try to debunk this one. But what do you think? Is the ghost of their loved one trying to reach out? Or is it a mere coincidence? Share your thoughts in the comments.
While making a quick response video on her TikTok, this girl just set up her phone in her bedroom and hit record. All went well for a few seconds until she noticed someone or something else stealing all the spotlight.
Hey guys, so someone commented in one of my videos like the bronzer highlighter I use, and I use the Milani 05 Soleil. So I'm gonna try that on, and no.
The camera is stationary for the whole video, meaning we can't see the whole room or get a good view inside the wardrobe. But when she swings it open, there doesn't look to be enough room for anyone to hide in there anyway. No idea where the light switch is, so that could have been anything. And something could have been placed on the floor to open and close the doors. But would she go to those lengths to fake a 30-second video? What do you think?
If you've been in any way involved with paranormal content, then there is no way you haven't heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren, a couple who specialized in demonology, clairvoyance, and exorcisms through the 40s and into the 90s. During one of their excursions through Japan, the Warrens were contacted by a sect of Buddhists begging for their help in exorcising a demon from a young girl named Teresa.
Right, go to the light, Teresa. Go to the light. Your family is waiting. They're no longer here. They're no longer here.
She was writhing around as Lorraine attempted to pull her away from the demonic entity's clutches, but strangely, during the exorcism, Teresa spoke English back to Lorraine, when before she didn't speak a word of it.
Teresa, do you see your mother? No, you see your mother. Your mother. She spoke in English, Ed. You see your mother? Go with your mother, Teresa. Go with your mother.
Go with your mother.
Go with your mother.
See your mother?
Do you see your mother?
Yeah. Go with her.
She speaks English.
Well, we can't make out exactly what she was saying, although throughout the video it looks as though something is wrong with Teresa.
I was here before.
Something coursing through her veins and makes her writhe in pain. But there are no updates on this case, as the clip itself comes from an archive. It's the consensus that the Warrens were the most real and trustworthy paranormal investigators of their era. But looking deeper into their history shows that there is plenty of controversy surrounding their names. Were they true paranormal investigators, or snake oil salesmen preying on the desperate and the mentally ill? Was Teresa really possessed? Let us know your thoughts on this one.
The Dementors were arguably the scariest part of Harry Potter if you don't count Voldemort and the giant spiders. But you were always safe in the knowledge that they existed only in the world of cinema, right? Or do they? Flying black voids of tentacles tend to not be on the list of things we want to see on our early evening walk. There seemed to be a lot of commotion and not a whole lot of understanding of what these things were. We can't think of anything that can go airborne and be the shape at the same time. Other than weird nightmarish alien creatures, that is. But why would they just hover aimlessly above a city and do nothing afterwards? The only other possibility was revealed to us by this commenter. Gotta say, that looks identical. Could this just be an octokite or something much more terrifying?
Imagine having a door that's always mysteriously open every morning. Let's say your back door. No matter how tightly you shut it, or how many locks and latches you install, it's always unlocked by the time you check it in the morning. You'd probably assume the worst, right? And if you live alone, let's just say your fear factor would skyrocket. Well, this family noticed their garage door was always open the following day. Confused and a bit freaked out, they decided to invest in security cameras, and what they discovered is something you have to see to believe.
میدونم من شما در رو شبا قفل نمی‌کنید. در که کلا قفله. خب قبلا اینجوری باز میشه در. باز میشد در ولی نه ناکن یا اول. اوه چرا یهو غیب شده دیگه یه دفعه غیبش میزنه. یا اول اینه داستان خونه که صبح پا شدیم دیدیم در بازه.
The CCTV footage shows a figure walking out of the house early in the morning before disappearing into thin air. The video is a bit grainy, with those classic lines running across it from being filmed on the phone, making it easy to suspect video fakery. Plus, the figure appears to duck as if to blend with where the line would be just before they went poof. But before you drop the gavel and convict them of making this up, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, as if this was something more sinister, like the ghost of someone who lived in the house previously and didn't lock the door, and now that they're in the great beyond, they can't stand the door being locked. Besides, the owners never complained about anything missing or any signs of burglary, so what gives? We'll let you decide. Proud of his creation, this software engineer decided to show the world the capabilities of his latest facial recognition application. Little did he know that presenting his product to an investor would turn into the scene of a nightmare he would never forget. Take a look at what his camera caught.
Dia akan muncul di bawahnya jadi happy, dan ketika saya marah dia akan muncul di bawahnya angry, dan juga ketika saya sedih seperti ini dia akan menunjukkan bahwasanya saya sedang sedih, sad.
Doors will always remain one of those paranormal grey areas, but that isn't what we're focusing on. The software picking up on a face at all is terrifying enough, but the fact it would be able to give an estimation of gender, age and expression is truly bone-chilling, when there was no one to be seen, not to mention the age ranging from 560 to 565. His software works off a pattern recognition. It matches the pre-established pattern of a human face and automatically recognizes other faces. So there is a chance the software glitched, or it recognized the pattern of a human face in something innocuous, like how our eyes play tricks. But matching all the coincidences together, from the door opening seemingly on its own to the angry expression and the age, it's hard to blame him for believing he is now housemates with one angry old spirit. They say a mother's intuition is sharper than a chef's knife, and boy, were they right. When this mum noticed her daughter's sudden aversion to her room, she knew there was more to it than bedtime blues. So, she decided to review the security camera footage of her room, but what she found sent chills down her spine. This was the first time she noticed her daughter's discomfort in her room, so she dug deeper and found this clip that explains everything. The mother recalled her daughter running into the room crying that a woman screamed at her in her room. She said she didn't hear anyone scream at the time and just shrugged it off. Besides, it wasn't likely that someone broke into their home without setting off the alarm. She also claimed that she went into the room to check, but it was all clear. But after reviewing this clip, she understood why her little angel hated her room so much. What do you think about this? A naughty neighbour trying to scare the girl from outside the window, or something far more sinister at play here? Let us know.
When this video was initially posted by Paranormalna Polska, it took the UFO community by storm. It was sent to them by a loyal reader who obtained the clip from a friend who lived in the Netherlands. He said that he noticed a strange object floating silently over his house, and he whipped out his phone to record it before it flew out of view. Take a look.
UFO. Co to kurwa jest? Ale jaja.
Paranormalna Polska conducted their analysis on the video, which is why you can see the zoomed in window in the bottom right corner of the screen. They say that after this analysis, it certainly wasn't a balloon, and they have no idea what it could be due to the darkness of the night, but they were intrigued by the way the object seemed to rotate 90 degrees as it floated on by. Focused on the shape of the object and how it moves, claiming that somebody could have just let go of a big bunch of balloons in the sky, they were floating along, and it really freaked people out in the process. But both the uploader and the UFO experts team seem convinced it has to be something else. So what do you think? UFO or what? Let us know.
The last thing on your mind when you're playing badminton is having a paranormal experience. But if you ask this guy, he'll disagree for sure. Here's why. As the dude strolls past the court, he's put off out of nowhere by what appears to be a shadow figure. Someone or something wanted him out of the way and didn't want to ask nicely. When we look deeper into this video, it does look like a ball bounces back on his head right before he falls. But the viewer who sent us the link to this video disagrees. She insists that they were playing badminton and there's no way a badminton birdie would hit the guy hard enough to trip him up. And what's the deal with the shadow figure? Could it have been editing in this video? It does look like it's faded in when it appears. But could that be how ghosts appear to people? Or just some video editing shenanigans at play here? Well, the video quality is pretty grainy, which adds a bit of intrigue, so I guess we'll just put this one in the unsolved pile, or fake, or debunked. Which one? Let us know your thoughts.
Supermarkets are normally seen as quite dull places that you visit mindlessly to top up the groceries. But in this IGA store in Brompton, Australia, something is lurking in there that makes the weekly shop much more interesting. According to the owner, when he first bought the store, the previous owner told him it was haunted. He paid it no mind until the CCTV caught something inexplicable happening in the pasta aisle. At first glance, this doesn't look like much. Something fell over, that's normal, right? But with a bit of context, it gets spookier. According to the owner, the closing shift before this footage went along normally. The store was spotless and the staff all went home. The box in the footage was a box of confectionery that was stored in the aisle across from the pasta aisle that it fell out in, meaning the box didn't just fall out. Someone, or something, must have thrown it through to the other side of the shelf. What happened? We don't see any camera footage from the aisle with the box in, so there could have been someone hiding there and throwing the box. But who would stay long after their shift in an empty store just to do that? Surely if that were the case, they would have at least faked something a bit more explosive, wouldn't they? So, is it a supernatural supermarket sweep? Or a disgruntled night shift worker?
Blurry, incohesive videos tend to be included as mere morsels in creepy compilations, but this video, filmed from a distance through a keyhole of all places, had quite the development. The horrible caterwauling and the setting being in a church is enough for everyone to put two and two together and realise it was an exorcism, or one really guilty woman during confession. The video received little attention until it was supposedly confirmed to be real by Mark Dunder, priest of the Roman Catholic Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary in the Czech town Varanov nad Jin. News outlets such as Daily Record and Newser picked up the story after Dunder commented, but as interesting as this all sounds, he didn't actually say anything. He refused to add an actual comment aside from the obvious. The video was filmed through a keyhole and that they used a Latin prayer to liberate the woman. Dunder also didn't reveal the woman's identity or any details of the supposed exorcism. Could this be a setup, with the church wanting their ideas to be proven to the world? According to some people who were interviewed in the surrounding area, this is not the first time they have heard screams emanating from the altar. If that is the case, then it's odd that only one exorcism was documented. That altar must have seen all sorts. Whether or not actual exorcisms took place is up to you to decide.
If you thought these kinds of UFO sightings only happened at night, you thought wrong. You're not even safe in broad daylight. Check out this video someone caught of a strange object hovering over the earth. Right off the bat, the shape of this object seems pretty alien, and the subtle red glow behind it makes us shiver even more. There was one comment on this video, however, that planted a little seed of doubt. They claim that this object has been debunked, as it is a graduation balloon people release into the air to cause this kind of hysteria. But after a few searches, we were unable to find anything that suggested there was an epidemic of people throwing UFO balloons into the air. And what kind of balloon glows? Any idea? Could this really be the proof we've been looking for? Let us know.
They say TikTok challenges are trendy ways of connecting with people from all walks of life, but this girl in the scary video you're about to watch has connected with something a bit more out of this world. Check it out. Nothing feels out of place, as it seems just like every other challenge entry until people notice something in the video that other videos don't have. Did you spot it? Could she have accidentally meddled with the paranormal, or finally found an activity for the poltergeist in her room? Heck, did she put someone up for this shenanigan just to add a layer of spookiness to her video? Whatever the case, this creepy eye had everyone feeling a bit spooked out. Poltergeist activities at an elderly's house have become some sort of an urban legend, with stories about them whispered by those who have experiences. However, when our guy visited his grandparents' house, the haunted fables became too real to ignore.
Tipo ho sentito strisciare nel vetro, quindi non so che cazzo. No vabbè ragazzi, io sono terrorizzato, ma proprio nel... No vabbè. Direi che vado via, perché nei film consiglio sempre questa cosa qua.
Woken up by the eerie creaking of the floorboard upstairs and dogs barking ominously from the next house, he decided to investigate if they were being robbed, since no one else was in the house. Little did he know that he was up against more than just masked burglars. This appeared to be something way more sinister. As he tracks a disturbance to a room upstairs, he's greeted by a chilling sight. Scratching on the glass, chandeliers swaying as if moved by an invisible hand, like a scene straight out of a horror movie. But wait, there's more to this spine-tingling tale. You see, this isn't just a random encounter with the supernatural. His grandparents had called this place home for generations, never encountering any bizarre occurrence until recently, when things started to move. Indistinct chatterings were heard in the hallways. Phantom footsteps all around and whatnot. So, our guy, being just a concerned grandson, wanted to prove that it was all in their heads, decided to spend a couple of nights and record the whole experience. But from his encounters so far, someone or something might actually be lurking in the shadows, and if you thought this was all he experienced that night, well, see for yourself.
Mi sembra il caso di proseguire con questa cosa, non so come. Il vaso non era lì. Il vaso non era lì. Questo vaso non era lì. Non era assolutamente lì. Era qualche scalino più giù, ma non era qui. Ok.
Immediately after seeing the closet slammed shut and the vase right in the middle of the staircase, he saw something in the room that made his blood run cold. Don't worry, it's pretty hard to spot, so let's slow it down and zoom in. If the first two weren't warning enough, this last bit definitely drove the point home as he bolted downstairs in search of a much needed pair of spare pants. After the dust settled, he felt he had to go back there to be sure there weren't one-off events. Because why else would anyone in their right mind willingly set foot in a house that's practically a paranormal playground? At the earliest light, he gracefully packed his things and headed home to review the clips with his wife, who might have been wondering why he suddenly likes having sleepovers at grandma's. Much to the bewilderment of him and his wife, the blanket on the other bed moved at the same time he felt the temperature in the room drastically drop. Now that it's clear they possibly have a pesky poltergeist on their hands, they seek help, and people suggest that they inspect all the items they've recently brought into the house. Meanwhile, his grandmother had bought a vintage scarf from a yard sale. His next mission was to dispose of the scarf and clean the house of any malevolent spirit.
Corrente forse. Pronto? Era mio fratello.
Having arrived in the house to windows wide open and the TV on, his attention was caught by a sound from behind. Shortly after, the phone rang, and he answered to be met with an unsettling silence on the other end, a taste of things to come on this intrepid mission.
Vi giuro, è inquietante.
In an eerie twist, someone or something threw the scarf to the ground. Did you notice how quickly he panned the camera in that direction? That's not something you don't see very often with ghost videos. With a hesitant hand, he hurriedly picked up the scarf and tossed it in the furthest trash bin. After that, a thorough purification was done, and the uploader testified that they no longer experienced any bizarre events in the house, and that his grandparents moved back in. We've seen a lot of ghost stories in our day. Could this one be the real deal? Or did they put on a great haunted charade for our entertainment? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
If you live in the UK or anywhere surrounding, you'll remember everybody gazing into the stars to see the whimsical design of nature that was the Northern Lights a few weeks ago. While most people got some fantastic shots to reminisce on, this guy caught something that had him sleeping with his lights on that night. If you missed it, don't worry, it's a little bit hard to spot, so let's slow it down and zoom in. There is a shadow figure traipsing across the shot. The OP seems to think it looks like a man in a top hat, but he swears that there was nobody with him at the time. Could it be a spirit or an otherworldly entity drawn to the energy of the Northern Lights? To be fair, it's not every day that you catch a ghostly apparition on camera, especially not one with such a distinct look. On the other hand, the guy was using long exposure on his phone, which means the camera shutter stays open longer, capturing any movement or changes for a clearer, more detailed photo. And loads of the dazzling photos that people got that night were captured this way, and it works best if you keep the camera still, which this guy wasn't doing. But even with that in mind, it's still creepy to think that there was a solitary figure just wandering around at stupid o'clock. Could it have been something from the other side? Or was it just a guy trying to get a photo of the lights, which the OP somehow missed even though they were right in front of his eyes? Let us know what you think about this one.
Picture this, you're on a family getaway on some faraway tropical island, but you find yourself in a 3-star hotel because your dad didn't book anything better ahead. Now, you end up in a paranormal nightmare. The teenager in the video you're about to watch experienced just that. After hearing some noises coming from the bathroom, he pulled out his phone, luckily just in time to capture this. Thailand is a place full of superstition for a reason. Staying alone while his family slept in a separate room, he was totally unaware of what was coming for him. With the windows stuck closed and the AC turned off, what unseen force could manipulate the very fabric of reality like that at such an ungodly hour? But did you also notice the orbs of light danced around as the door moved? Also, how he recalls in shock suggests that this might not have been the first bizarre incident that night, only this time it was scarily close. Are these enough reasons to conclude that they might have been staying at a real-life Hotel Transylvania? Maybe, but these tricks would be incredibly easy to pull off. So, are you a believer or a doubter? Let us know.
If you've watched us for any amount of time, you'll know that we are no strangers to the odd alien or UFO commentary. But after watching a handful of our extraterrestrial pics, Adrian from Rise Attire couldn't keep watching without showing us some of what he believes to be the most compelling UFO footage he has ever seen. Take a look. This is petrifying, but we can already hear people typing their comments claiming it's edited. So, lucky for you, Adrian gave us some fantastic context for the clip. It was shot at a place called Aketi Ranch, and a plethora of people witnessed this spacecraft-esque object. You can hear them all talking about it in real time in the video.
I put them away, but I got these on film, this thing on film, whatever.
Apparently, it wasn't the first time this phenomenon has been seen nearby, because Aketi Ranch is known for its remarkable amount of UFO activity. According to Adrian, who claims to have visited this location himself, when you're there you see all sorts, from lights atop the mountain or blinking lights hovering through the sky. It's even been known for Sasquatch sightings and of course, the huge mothership we saw in the clip. And the real kicker is that the person who recorded it is a man called James Gilliand, the ranch owner. Adrian says he is an honest and incredible soul who is an old hippie with nothing to prove. So why would he fake this video? This all leads to this being a real video, except for one thing, which is slightly sus. If you type Gilliand's name into Google, his IMDb page will show up, showing that he has made or at least been involved with multiple documentaries regarding UFO sightings, which could all be completely innocent, and he's just a man passionate about spreading awareness and information about his ranch. But what if it's all a marketing technique? What do you think? Are we reading too much into it? Let us know down below, and thanks again to Adrian from Rise Attire for sending this video across to us.
Here's one of the creepiest paranormal videos we've seen in a long time. shared by TikTok user AMC Propiedades, famous for their trusty real estate videos in Mexico. Their content is all about advertising properties for sale, but you don't get featured on our channel for killer deals, do you? That's right. One day, while showing off this fresh listing, they came up against something that could potentially ruin their reputation as one of the top realtors around. Take a look. What starts as a pretty routine video tour of the house took a spooky turn when some of their eagle-eyed viewers spotted something that would make the house price fall faster than a skydiver without a parachute. A childlike figure runs behind the chairs and vanishes as the camera pans to other parts of the house. But that house was empty for sale, and according to him, there was no way a child could pass through the gates. This mysterious figure, could it have been just a child running around, or a ghost straight out of American Horror Story? Let us know your thoughts.
Hey, here's a playlist full of creepy stuff caught on camera for you to enjoy. Don't forget to bump the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon to avoid missing our weekly Spookfest. Thanks for watching. Stay in the dark.